Hey everybody, welcome back to the second installment of the quick and dirty guide to Virtualbox. In my last video, I showed you how to quickly install an operating system in a virtual machine using Oracle's Virtualbox. And what I did was install Ubuntu 15, 15.4 actually. So what I've done now is I've gotten it installed. It's working beautifully. As you can see, I rebooted it. Everything's working fine. You have the Ubuntu desktop. Uh, you can change the background. You can do everything you can do in regular Ubuntu pretty much because it thinks it's running on real hardware, right? So there's really no limitations, but there are some differences to real hardware, and one way we can close that gap is to install what's called guest editions. Okay, guest editions is basically a another additional software that you would install within the virtual machine, and it would give you enhanced features like better video, tighter integration with your guest machine desktop and whatnot. It's a good thing to go ahead and do it. Now, there's a simple way to do it. You'll see that this is the virtual machine window, okay, running on Ubuntu. As you see at the top, Ubuntu running, and anywhere the cursor goes in here, it operates just like I'm using regular Ubuntu. It's quite incredible actually. You have the software center, and everything will run as it's supposed to. And you can go ahead and install software and do everything that you would usually do. Okay. Some of the icons below, I'd have to point out, these are Virtualbox icons. They show you things like disk activity, virtual disk, virtual CD drive, USB attachments, networking, shared folders if you have any. If you want to record, you can always just start video capture at any time. I have to try that out. And a few other things, okay? Additional features of CPU that's being used, whether your mouse is captured or not and whatnot. Okay, so one thing you might want to do when you have a virtual machine up and running, in particular if it's a very common OS, for example, any Windows OS, or Ubuntu, Linux Mint, stuff like that, you want to install the guest editions. You go up here to you'll see my cursor will stay as it leaves the box, and it'll come back when I put it in. Now, because while it's doing that, this is the mouse cursor in the guest, but now I've transferred to the host. You see? Click on Devices menu, go Install Guest Edition CD. Okay, it'll pop this up. It won't do that with every virtual machine. For example, certain Linux editions, it won't give you this. It's a little bit more complicated, but Ubuntu makes it so simple, or any one of its derivatives. Vbox editions contain software intended to be automatically started. Would you like to run it? Go run. Give it the password, of course, and it's going to run and install all the Virtualbox modules. It's going to build them, install them, and I don't even know if you really need a reboot, but you should at least log out and log back in to get additional features, and it'll work fantastically. While that's doing what it's doing, I'll show you some other things. Ubuntu is Ubuntu, but you'll see that the disk is in. Vbox editions. When you clicked on devices and insert guest edition CD image, what you've done is you've inserted a virtual disk into a virtual DVD drive. Wrap your head around that, folks. Go figure. And you're running it. Okay, here we are. It's done. That's been installed. With respect to attaching USB devices, if I go down to these are my CD devices, I can load anything in the virtual CD drive, ISO or whatever file. USB devices, this is interesting. This shows me a list of devices that are attached to my host computer. American Power Conversion, I have a UPS attached, a USB optical mouse, my keyboard, a few other things. If you have certain devices like webcams and stuff like that, I believe this is what this is up here. They may not be showing it their proper name. They'll give you a vendor ID and a product ID if it doesn't recognize it, but they can easily be attached. Actually, I'm mistaken. The webcams here are here. If I click on this, the virtual machine will now take over use of my webcam. So that's pretty interesting. Here's the shared clipboard, which is disabled. I can go host to guest, guest to host, bidirectional. Drag and drop is also disabled, but I can enable it. Network settings, connect network manager, video capture, and this is all within the VirtualBox settings over here. I can switch to full screen, which I won't do, but let's just put it like this. If I set my virtual machine uh, resolution to the same resolution of my desktop, 1920 by 1080 for example, if I go full screen, you will not be able to tell that I'm not running just one OS on my machine. The virtual machine, the guest OS, will take over the full screen. I've had people coming in on my Linux desktop. I install Windows 7, for example. I let them sit down and use it, and then I hit a button, and before you know it, I was running Linux. And they said, "How did you do that?" I said, "You were running a virtual machine." They never could tell the difference. And here we have machine settings. You'll notice that a lot of them are grayed out. We can't adjust the settings while the virtual machine is running. A few of them maybe we can, like network, but a lot of them we can't. Okay, maybe you could add some more filters or whatnot. That's it. You could take snapshots. A snapshot is like a moment in time of the operating system. It's good if you want to do a lot of different changes and you want to go back to a previous snapshot prior to the change in case something goes wrong. You can take screenshots, session information, tell you the screen resolution, clipboard mode, all the modes that are there. Disable mouse integration. I don't know why you'd want to do that. That would mean that I'd have to push a special key combo in order to get the mouse focus away from the virtual machine. I think it's the right control button, if I'm not mistaken. And you could insert Control Delete, pause, reset, ACPI shutdown, or you can even close the machine forcibly if you wish to do that. So there you have it, running beautifully. Everything works good. Can't complain. And give it a try. If you have any further questions or observations, or you'd like me to make another video showing you a little bit more of the inner details of VirtualBox or how to get certain OSs installed, just drop me a line and I'll see what I can do. So thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed the video.